Hello, and thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation on the top 10 worst operators in Rainbow Six Siege. Picking the operators on this list is the fastest way to make your rank go down the moment they appear on your screen. Sense is a throw pick, and the rest of these choices aren't much better if you actually want to win a match. So in today's video, we're going to go over the 5 worst attackers and the 5 worst defenders in Siege history. Number 1. Sense. You pick Sense and you're immediately a liability to your team. You have the ROU projector system, which is a wheel-like gadget you throw on the floor. It rolls along and drops small projectors to make a long, opaque digital light wall. In theory, it's meant to block defender sightlines so you can move safely into the objective. But in a real match, the ROU is just unpredictable. You throw it at a doorway and it bounces off a random piece of debris or a stray book on the floor, and suddenly the wall is blocking your own team's entry while the defenders are completely fine. If a defender is sitting on the high ground, the wall does nothing. They just look over the top of the light and shoot you in the head while you think you're safe. Then you have to deal with the POF-9. This weapon has some of the most difficult recoil to manage in the entire game. You fire 3 bullets and the barrel is basically pointing at the rooftop. You aren't winning gunfights if you can't hit a target 5 feet in front of you. Now, Sense has classical music training, but that doesn't help when your gadget is situational and your gun is uncontrollable. Most players in Diamond or Pro League consider this a total throw pick, so you're better off just picking Gridlock. She at least gives you actual aerial denial, and she has guns you can actually aim. You can, though, try throwing your light wall directly at your feet so your teammates don't have to watch you miss your shots, but again, it won't help much. Sense has a bad gun and a weird gadget, but at least they have their health, unlike the next guy who keeps getting nerfed into the ground. Number 2. Blackbeard. You pick Blackbeard because you want a frontline breacher, but the Operation Collision Point remaster didn't save him. You have the hull adaptable shield, which lets you use your MK17 CQB or the SR25 when protected, and yeah, it even has a pneumatic system for smashing through soft walls. It all sounds fine until you actually try to play around, because Ubisoft hit him with massive nerfs in Year 10 Season 3 that make him feel terrible to use. Your shield now completely folds up whenever you start a reload, so you're stuck in an animation, and your entire body is exposed to anyone peeking the hallway. Your ADS recovery time was also doubled. It went from 0.5 seconds to 0.9 seconds, which just feels like an eternity when a defender is swinging on you. His KD dropped 25% after the remaster, and he now averages a 0.9. That's barely better than Blitz. You can't even ADS while you're rappelling through a window anymore. So people still ban him because he's annoying, but his win rate is mediocre. You're playing a slow operator with a shield that disappears exactly when you need it most. Osa is a better alternative because her shield actually protects the team and stays in one piece. You can reload in the middle of a hallway so the defenders can admire your new shield folding animation, but you will be dead before the magazine clicks in. Blackbeard is slow and exposed, but at least he doesn't have to stand perfectly still to see people like our next operator. Number 3. Glaz. Glaz is the Spetsnaz sniper who uses the HDS flip sight on his OTS-03 marksman rifle. This sight gives you thermal vision, so enemies show up in bright yellow through smoke. The rifle is actually strong, and you can down a defender in 2 to 3 body shots. But the problem is that Glaz is a stationary operator in a meta that moves too fast for him. If you move your character, the yellow highlight on your scope starts to fade away, so you have to stand perfectly still to get the full benefit of the gadget, which obviously makes you an easy target for anyone who knows how to peek a window. You also have to deal with hard counters like Warden. He can see through the smoke just like you can, but he doesn't have to stay still. Turborao can freeze you and disable your thermal vision entirely. So if you run out of smoke grenades, you're just a guy with a marksman rifle and no utility for the sight. Most players find him way too dependent on secondary gadgets to be useful at all, and he's consistently ranked in the D tier because he can't keep up with the pace of a normal match. I hope this video is a little more useful than a Blackbeard shield, but subscribe now so I can keep making presentations instead of actually playing these operators. Thank you for watching, and now back to the video. Number 4. Blitz. Blitz is the guy who rushes the building with the G52 tactical shield. You can trigger a flash on the front to blind defenders, and you're a 2-speed operator who can sprint with the shield up. It sounds like a nightmare for defenders, but his KD is only 0.8. You're really easy to kill if the defenders are playing together because they just shoot you in the legs or the shoulders while you're looking right at them. The Year 10 shield updates made your life even harder. You can't deal damage with your shield bash anymore, so this forces you to expose your head to get a kill with your pistol. There are also constant issues where you get killed right through your shield because of perspective or hitbox problems. People in low ranks might hate you, but in high elo play, you're considered a griefing option. You're a feast or famine operator who usually just starves. You might be a graduate of an elite academy, but you still die to a stray bullet hitting your foot. Fuse with his shield is a better alternative because he at least brings cluster charges to clear out defender utility. You can try sprinting directly at a warden, but don't act surprised when his glasses actually work and he shoots you in the face. Blitz is a close-range failure, and the next operator tries to use robots to do the exact same job. Number 5, Grim. Grim uses the Kawan Hive launcher to shoot canisters of nanobots, so when a defender walks through the swarm, they get tracked and pinged for your team. Ubisoft gave him impact EMPs and hard breach charges to try to help him out, but he's still a bottom tier pick because his area denial is just weak. Defenders can easily walk around your swarms without getting touched, so if you want to watch a flank or get intel, Nomad and Zero are much better choices. The 552 Commando is a good gun, but the Gadgets is a death trap. You have to pull out the launcher and stand there exposed while you fire it, so in a high-pressure situation, you're dead before the bees even hit the floor. You also almost never see Grim in pro play because the intel he provides is too slow to matter. The community consensus is that he's basically useless compared to the other map control operators. His lore says he's a ruthless combatant, but his kit says he's just a guy with a bug hobby. You can shoot your bees into an empty room so the defenders know exactly where you're standing, but it won't win you the round. Nomad remains a much more reliable way to stop defenders from flanking. Grim is the worst of the attackers, but now we have to look at the defenders who are struggling just as much. Number 6, Solis. Solis is the biggest fall from grace in the history of the game. You use the Spec IO Electro Sensor helmet to see attacker electronics through walls. She used to be broken, but then she got hit with 6 nerfs in one update. Ubisoft took away your impact grenades and your ability to use the gadget during the prep phase. They also nerfed your range and your duration. And even after a small buff in Year 10 Season 3.3, you're still in a terrible spot. Your range is only 20 meters and the battery only lasts 15 seconds. Ubisoft themselves even admitted that players aren't getting enough benefit from her kit anymore. When you use your gadget to look at a drone, the attacker gets a warning on their screen, which makes it very easy for them to find your position and kill you through a floor or a door. Losing those impact grenades also ruined your ability to play vertically, and most high-ranked players consider Solis dead. She's a linguist who hates confusion, but her current state in the meta is confusing for everyone. Pulse is honestly a better alternative because he's more reliable for finding attackers through floors. You can use your gadget to find a drone and then wait for the attacker to come kill you, but it's not a great strategy. Solis can't find anyone anymore, and our next roamer can't stay hidden long enough to do her job. Number 7, Caveira. Caveira is a roamer who uses Silent Step to sneak around the map. You have a suppressed pistol called Delusion that's designed to down enemies, and if you down someone, you can interrogate them to reveal their entire attacking team. And it sounds great on paper, but she has a 0% pick rate in pro matches. High-ranked players think she's terrible because she brings 0 utility to the objective site. You rely entirely on attackers making mistakes in solo queue. In the current meta, attackers constantly use drones. Operators like Zero and Demos will find you before you ever get close to a flank. If you're playing against a team that moves in pairs, you will never get an interrogation. You're a noob stomper who only works in copper or bronze ranks, and in platinum or higher, you're just wasting a slot on the team. Caveira actually recommended Solis for the Ghost Eyes squad, and now they both live at the bottom of the tier list. Vigil is a better roamer because he can actually hide from the drones that counter you. You can hide in a corner for 3 minutes and then get killed by a drone you didn't see, but your team won't thank you for it. Caveira is too quiet for her own good, but the next guy is so loud he can't surprise anyone. Number 8, Oryx. Oryx is a defender who uses the Rima dash instead of a traditional gadget. You can sprint through soft walls or knock down shield operations like Montag, and you're the only defender who can jump up through open hatches. You're physically the strongest operator, but you're statistically very weak. Every time you dash through a wall, you lose 10 HP, so you're literally killing yourself to do your job. You're also incredibly loud when you run. Attackers can hear you coming from a mile away. And when you finish a dash, there is a full second delay before you can pull your weapons up. That's plenty of time for an attacker to turn around and shoot you in the face. Ubisoft tried to help him by making him climb hatches 30% faster, but it's still just a party trick. You provide no utility to the team, and you're generally ignored in competitive play. Most people just call him the Juggernaut and then pick someone else. Melusi is a better alternative because her slow gadgets actually help the team. You could dash through 3 walls in a row, so the attackers only have to land 1 shot to kill you, but that's about all you'll accomplish. Oryx is a loud roamer who hurts himself, but our next guy is a stealth roamer who isn't actually stealthy anymore. Number 9, Vigil. Vigil is a roamer with the ERC7 video disruptor. This used to make you invisible to drones and lion scans, but he got nerfed to match the behavior of Nock, and now things are different. If you sprint, shoot, or use a gadget, you glitch on the cameras. This means attackers know exactly which room you're in, even if they can't see your outline. You are also no longer naturally immune to lion or grim scans. You have to have your ability active at the exact moment the scan happens to avoid being pinged, which makes you much more vulnerable than you used to be. You bring nothing to the team's objective defense, and your kit is entirely selfish, and since the stealth is unreliable, there's really no reason to pick you. The glitch effect on the drones acts like a GPS for the attackers. He had a rough childhood in North Korea, but his time in the current siege meta is also pretty bad. Alibi is a better alternative because she provides area denial and can still trick attackers with her clones. You can turn on your gadget so the attackers can use the glitch effect to find your exact location, but don't expect to survive the encounter. Vigil is failing at being a ghost, but the final operator on our list is failing at being a god. Number 10, Tachanka. Tachanka is an anchor who uses the Shumika launcher. You fire incendiary grenades that create zones of fire to block off doors, and you also have the DP-27 LMG, which is great for destroying soft walls. Even though he got a rework and a damage buff to his LMG that brought it to 60 damage, he's still not viable, because you are a 1-speed anchor. You're very slow and you're very loud, and the biggest problem is that the Shumika launcher itself, you have to manually reload every single grenade one by one. So it takes a total of 8 seconds to do a full reload. That is way too slow for this game. And by the time you switch to your launcher and line up a shot, a meta attacker has already peeked around the corner and killed you. He's a beloved meme, but picking him in a serious match is basically throwing. He's often compared to Smoke, but Smoke is much better because his canisters are faster to use and more lethal. His biography was even removed from the game, which is probably for the best given how he performs in a match. Smoke is the superior choice for area denial every single time. You can spend your whole round reloading your fire grenades so you don't accidentally help your team, but your rank will suffer for it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.